Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Minna and this is the Frostbites podcast YouTube channel, which is my channel about knitting and handicrafts in general. This time I'm going to do a little bit different kind of episode, or actually I think this will be a vlog about me preparing my trip to Edinburgh Yarn Festival, because I don't think that I will have enough time to film a full episode before that. So I will probably just keep filming during this week short clips when I'm preparing my trip. But before we get into that, I would like to thank everyone who has subscribed my channel here on YouTube. There's over 1,000 of you already, and I'm really excited about that. And as I said in my previous episode, there will be a giveaway. So, how to enter? First of all, I hope that you are a subscriber if you enter this giveaway, and you can enter by commenting below this video. I ask you not to mention the word giveaway in the comments, but instead I would like to hear what is your favorite yarn or craft festival. It can be a festival near to you, it can be a festival you have attended somewhere, or a festival that you would like to go to if there were no limits. So mention what is your favorite festival, and I will pick a winner randomly, let's say by the end of March. So you will have time until the end of March to enter. And for the prize, I'm going to assemble a little surprise gift with yarn and something from Finland and possibly something from Edinburgh Yarn Festival. So if you want to enter, comment below and do it by the end of March. And speaking of Edinburgh Yarn Festival, I'm going this year for the third time. It's one of my favorite festivals and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm leaving on Thursday evening, and I will be at the festival at least on Saturday and Sunday. Probably also on Friday evening or late afternoon if my flight arrives in time. I'm not sure about that yet, of course. My flight schedules have been changing a lot. Last night I had to call my airline again to rebook some of my flights because they had changed the beginning of my return flight to later, so I couldn't catch my connection. And yes, well, I hope that there will be no more changes for the schedules and I will make it in time for the festival, and I also will have a good journey back home. I have booked a table or a slot at the podcasters meetup spot in the marquee in the festival area. That's the big tent in the courtyard of Corn Exchange, and I would really love to meet you if you are at the festival on Saturday. There will be no official podcaster lounge this year like previous years. They have changed that a little bit. However, I'm still going to be there as one of the podcasters, and people with the podcaster pass have had a chance to book a time slot in the marquee for them to meet their viewers. And my slot is on Saturday, 23rd of March at 1 to 1:45. So I hope that if you are at the festival at that time, you will come and say hi to me and bring your knitting and maybe a cup of tea or coffee for yourself and have a little sit and knit with me in the marquee. It's a perfect time for have a little break from the hustle and bustle of the marketplace. So 1 o'clock on Saturday at the marquee. I hope to see you there. And my other plans for the festival, I haven't booked any classes, so I will be just hanging around at the marketplace and everywhere else in the Corn Exchange. I'm going to attend the Make Wool event on Sunday. I really enjoyed the Sunday event last year to meet with the local producers, and I'm really looking forward to finding some locally produced, more natural yarn, like non-superwash, maybe natural colors or naturally dyed or something like that. And just looking at my notes for the festival, as usual I've made a little page to plan my week in Edinburgh. So I'm going to stay in Edinburgh for a few days after the festival as well. And if you are too, let me know. Maybe we can do something together. I'm heading back home on Thursday after the festival. So I think that's all about the festival. Oh, and if you cannot make it to the meetup, do come and say hi anytime you see me at the festival. I would love to meet you. But yes, I think I need to start planning. I've been quite busy at work and I haven't had a lot of time to prepare the trip. I have made a little shopping list for some books I want to purchase, and also some yarn and needles. But I don't think I'm kind of hoping that this year I wouldn't get so carried away with all the yarn purchasing. We'll see how it goes. And then after the festival, I think I'm going to do a little bit of sightseeing in Edinburgh, possibly a day trip somewhere else too. Depends on the weather and what I feel like. And then for the travel, I need to start thinking about a project to bring, or I will probably bring a couple. I think I'm going to bring my magnolia sweater because it's only sleeve knitting, which will be easy. And maybe a sock project. I would also like to possibly write up one pattern. Maybe during the flights or something. But I'm not putting any pressure on myself. Yeah, I think that's all for now. And I will check back in a bit later. It's already Thursday evening. I have traveled to Helsinki already. I didn't have time to film while I was preparing back home because I was working quite late most nights, and I hardly had time to pack. So here I am in my hotel room. I'm staying the night at the airport hotel. My flight arrived maybe a couple of hours ago, and I leave in the morning. Those of you who have followed my journeys to Edinburgh before, I've been there twice before. They have not been easy. Things have just happened and come up that have made my journeys a bit too exciting. And I'm sure the one question everybody has on their lips now is whether I have my correct passport with me or not. I can assure you it's the correct one. It's valid for a couple of years still, so that won't cause me any problems. I've had my flight schedules changed 4 times already. First before Christmas, and now the last message I got on Monday this week, so 3 days ago. And I've had to rebook my flights 3 times already because one of the legs of my journey has been changed, and that has caused that if I was on that flight I wouldn't catch the next one. So now everything should be sorted, and I hope that there will be no more changes to the schedule, and I really hope that none of the flights will be delayed, which might be wishful thinking, but right now the way my flights are booked mean that I have only 40 minutes time to change at some airports. I'm flying via Stockholm tomorrow to Edinburgh, and then on my way back I'm coming Edinburgh, Oslo, Stockholm, Helsinki, and then I will stay one night here in Helsinki again on my way back, and then fly home to Oulu. So fingers crossed I will catch the flights in time, and I will be in Edinburgh tomorrow afternoon. I think I could show you the projects that I brought with me, and maybe that will be all for tonight. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention a Finnish podcaster, Nonnu Neuloja, has been hosting she's hosting a Box of Socks Cal the whole year, and for each month she has different surprises for the knitters who take part in the Box of Socks knit along. And in March the surprise was my Lamus socks pattern, and for free for a couple of weeks for those who wanted to join and knit that sock during March. And it's still ongoing, the knit along, and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who has been knitting those socks. It blew my mind how many people joined in. I think there have been more than 400, almost 500 people who have downloaded the pattern, and so many of you have already finished your beautiful socks, and I loved seeing all of those different colors and different versions. There have been people who have their ankle socks, and there have been people who made them a lot higher, all kinds of colors and different kinds of yarns. It has been a joy to see them on Instagram, and I've been sharing a lot of those in my stories. So for those of you who didn't know, because it's a Finnish, Nonnus podcast is in Finnish, so you probably didn't know what was going on. So that's what's been happening in Finland, and I feel like the whole of Finland has been knitting my socks, which is quite amazing. I know not everybody has been, but still it's been really nice. So thank you everybody who has been joining so far, and there's still a couple of weeks left for that cal within another cal. But what I brought with me are I brought a couple of socks. The first one is Pebbles and Pathways by Mars of Hey Brown Berry, and I haven't had time to knit on these in a while, and I have forgotten where I'm at, so I thought that during this trip I will get back to these, and I'm really hoping to also meet Mars at Edinburgh Yarn Festival in person. I've been following her podcast for quite a while already, and I think a little after last year's festival I think I found her. So, and also the yarn is from another EYF friend, Erin, who gave me the yarn last year. She has dyed the yarn herself, and the yarn is, or the yarn brand that she has is called Holland Handmade, and it's her BFL sock yarn in this beautiful variegated blue, and on the screen it looks a bit more varied than in real life, but it's really beautiful yarn. And I also have another pair of socks. Here, these I started just a couple of days ago. Stripy socks from La Biename's sock yarns. These are all leftover yarns from socks that I have already knitted. This is really blowing out. So this white with colorful speckles, and then this is like purple or violet, maybe lavender colored, with all kinds of speckles, and then Amy's lipstick color. That's pretty close to what it is in real life. So I'm doing just a basic sock with Afterthought heel. That's my go-to sock for social events, and also traveling when I feel a bit tired, because you just knit and knit in the round and you don't have to count or worry about any stitch patterns. And I'm going to do the Afterthought heel also in the pink color. I think I'm doing 3 round stripes with both colors. And then the last project that I have is in this bag, but I'm not able to show you because it's a secret test knit, which should have been finished maybe 2 weeks ago, but I'm still working on it. But I'm determined to have it done during this trip. I have 3 or 4 days after the festival in Edinburgh, and hopefully I will be able to finish it by the time I'm going back home. So I will show you what it is when I can. But those are my travel projects. Oh, and I also have my magnolia sweater, which I didn't finish for the festival. That was the original plan, but I still have a whole sleeve, and then I'm working on this first sleeve and I'm almost done with it, but not quite. Let me just grab it and show you. Here it is. It's such a beautiful design. It's a sweater by Camilla Ward from Line issue 4 or 5, I don't remember right now. So you have this lace pattern in the hem. It's a yoke sweater, and then also the same pattern in the sleeves. And I think I have maybe about 10, 15, maybe 10 centimeters to go with the first sleeve. I'm using my new circular needles. I think these are 12-inch circs. I'm not sure, but they are quite short, and they have this bend in the tips. It's a little bit easier to knit with these than the small sock circulars, but it still takes some time for me to get used to knitting on these. But I think by the time I've finished the second sleeve, I will have mastered the technique. I changed the sleeves a little bit because I didn't want them to be too tight, so I left out some decreases, and now I have to decide whether I want to decrease now before I hit the ribbing. And what I did was I just started the twisted ribbing here between the pattern repeats, because I thought that it would blend in more, because all of the pattern ends up being twisted ribbing in the end, as you can see here. So I thought that in the underarm I would do the ribbing as well. But now that I have made a little progress, I think I should have had the ribbing start like this. So this little triangle should have been stockinette stitch, or that's what I would have preferred. But I didn't think that much when I was starting to work on it, so it is what it is. I'm not going to rip back, and it's in the underarm, so I don't think it matters that it starts quite suddenly in there. So I think I might bring this to the festival to knit on, even though it's quite large. But maybe, or I might just take my socks. I'm not sure. So those are my travel projects. I think I'm going to work on this tomorrow also on the flights. I don't have a lot of things planned ahead of time in Edinburgh. I'm going to have dinners, lunches, coffees with friends, and I'm going to have my podcast meetup at the Marquee on Saturday. I have to check the time so that I tell you the correct time. Saturday at 1 o'clock, from 1 to 1:45. There will be a table or two tables in the Marquee at the rear end when you come into the Marquee from the concourse, from the marketplace. The meetup table will be at the left end, I think. There will be a signpost meetup point or something like that. So if you see this before that and you would like to come and say hi, please do bring your knitting and bring also something to drink if you want for yourself, and we can have a little knit together in the hustle and bustle of the festival. And also, if you see me anywhere else, please come and say hi. I probably already said it in the previous clip, but anyway, you are more than welcome to join in. And then after the festival, I might do some sightseeing. I would also like to do a little walk or a little hike somewhere, but I don't know if I have time and if it's possible in just one day. I have a list in my phone of different places where I would like to go and visit, but I have been writing them down since last autumn, I think, and I've been so busy with all the things lately that I haven't really checked what I have written down. But once I get to Edinburgh, I will investigate more and decide on what to do. And I also want to just have this holiday as a kind of free holiday when I do things only if I feel like doing them, and I allow myself to just sit in a coffee shop or somewhere knitting if that's what I fancy. So we'll see what I end up doing. Anyway, tomorrow morning I will catch my flight to Stockholm, and then keep your fingers crossed that I can make it to my next flight as well. And I should be arriving to Edinburgh early afternoon, I think. Now that the flight schedule's changed, I think I got a bit of extra time in Edinburgh, and I might actually make it to the festival also on Friday, which is nice. Maybe I'll see you there. Okay, I'll probably edit this bit together and then have a separate video from when I get to Scotland. See you later. Bye.